I've been paying attention very little, but one of the things that I did watch is all the fouls. Like, these bitches throw each other to the ground. They poke each other in the eyes. Like, they do this. They literally jab each other in the eyes. It's crazy. Like, they foul, and also they travel so much.
Oh, it's crazy.
They take like 4 or 5 steps, and then no one calls them on it.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a trend now to not call traveling?
Yes, without a doubt.
The WNBA is like a basketball version of WWE Pro Wrestling.
The WNBA is going through an extraordinary wave of controversy right now, with the drama no longer confined to the basketball court but spilling directly into mainstream pop culture. When one of the world's biggest podcast personalities, Joe Rogan, sits down with prominent comedians such as Tony Hinchcliffe and openly jokes about the officiating and player conduct in women's basketball, it becomes clear that the situation has reached a serious breaking point. For months, fans have watched in disbelief as the league's biggest young star, Caitlin Clark, has faced what many describe as a disturbing pattern of physical treatment that appears increasingly difficult to dismiss as ordinary competition.
Joe Rogan tells comedian Tony Hinchcliffe that he started watching all the WNBA drama with Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. Hinchcliffe, have you caught up with the WNBA? Who's the girl that's pointing everybody? Yeah, that's Sophie Cunningham. I noticed in this league, the fouls are insane. These bees throw each other to the ground. They're wild. They will literally try to poke each other in the eyes. It's crazy. It's nuts.
I was just kind of pointing, and she's like, don't you point at me. And I was like, oh, shouldn't have said that. And I didn't say a word.
This goes far beyond ordinary hard fouls or intense physical play. We are seeing obvious and dangerous actions that have little to do with basketball and seem more appropriate for a WWE match or a UFC fight than a professional basketball game. Players are being deliberately knocked to the floor, pushed while they are airborne, and even struck around the eyes. Yet even as the physicality on the court continues to become more extreme, officials often seem reluctant to intervene. That has left fans questioning what message the league's front office is actually trying to send by allowing the situation to continue.
Was there ever a moment where you realized how good you really are?
I mean, I think as a kid, you're like pretty naive, so you don't always like realize it. It's like you kind of just love the sport and you love getting to go do it. The first time I probably realized like maybe it was a little different for myself is like 6th grade when colleges started watching me because I was playing 2 grades up at a time, which is pretty messed up. Like no 6th grader should be going through that. And my parents did a great job of like guarding me. Like that wasn't a thing until really like my sophomore year of high school. So I would say like kind of around middle school, I was like, oh, like maybe I can like really have a future in this. And like I wanted to be really good at it. So I just kept working at it.
The discussion on the Joe Rogan experience captured the growing frustration among mainstream audiences over what many see as a serious lack of control within the WNBA. Rogan and Hinchcliffe did not hold back, joking about how the game sometimes appears to have turned into chaotic physical battles where even the most basic rules seem to be overlooked. But the concerns go beyond the extreme physicality. The league's officiating has increasingly become a source of ridicule. Traveling calls appear to be inconsistent, with players sometimes taking several steps without hearing a whistle, while obvious double dribbles can also go unnoticed. For many viewers, it is difficult to understand how a professional sports league could allow its on-court product to reach this point, particularly at a time when millions of new fans are paying attention to the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark could be bashing everyone. She could have the personality to just go out there and say what she thinks. With the millions and millions of people who follow her, that would create a very difficult situation for the WNBA.
The apparent lack of leadership begins at the highest level, with WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver facing criticism for failing to address what many fans see as the repeated mistreatment of one of the league's biggest stars. Week after week, Caitlin Clark continues to absorb intense physical play, while league leadership appears unwilling to take stronger action. Critics argue that this lack of accountability can create an environment where players become more willing to push the boundaries because they do not expect meaningful administrative consequences. But what makes the situation even more frustrating for many observers is the tension, resentment, and perceived pettiness surrounding Clark within parts of the league. That attitude became especially noticeable during a recent player vote, when Caitlin Clark was ranked just 11th among the league's guards, a result that sparked considerable debate over whether personal feelings were influencing how some players viewed her standing in the sport.
Colin Cowherd literally laughing in the faces of WNBA players that voted Caitlin Clark as the 11th best guard in the league. Not 11th best player, guard. She was the Eastern Conference Player of the Month for June.
This is a player who is recognized as the Eastern Conference Player of the Month, helped lead her team to its best scoring average in 16 years, and continues to rank among the league leaders in areas such as scoring, shooting, and assists. The contrast in the voting has raised plenty of eyebrows. Media voters placed her third, fans put her second, yet her fellow players ranked her all the way down at 11th. Critics argue that such a dramatic difference is difficult to explain purely through basketball performance and reflects the tension surrounding Clark within the league. Sports commentators such as Colin Cowherd have openly questioned the logic behind the rankings, arguing that the numbers do not appear to match the results. Clark's playmaking and distribution have consistently placed her among the league's most influential guards, making her exclusion from the top group a major talking point. At the same time, rumors have circulated online alleging that the voting process itself may have been influenced or mishandled. Some claims suggest that voting materials were distributed unevenly, with certain teams receiving more opportunities to participate than others. These allegations have fueled further debate, although they remain claims rather than established facts.
Is there a night that you're out there and you say, wow, my legs just aren't really there today and my shot's off and I'm actually going to think differently about how to approach the game? Or does it not
Well,
work
I always
that way?
think every shot's going in. So maybe that's like a poison. Maybe I should probably pass a little bit more, but there's always things you can do, even if you're not scoring. And, the attention you draw or the way you can get your teammates open, there's always other things you can contribute. And it's certainly easier said than done, but I like to think I keep shooting too. I'm not going to stop.
You're not going to stop shooting. Good.
The WNBA recently found itself facing intense public criticism after unveiling a major 30th anniversary promotional poster that notably left Caitlin Clark out, despite featuring other legendary figures from the league's history. Some defenders of the league attempted to explain the omission by pointing to contractual restrictions and image rights issues. However, critics argued that the decision was difficult to understand, especially considering how much of the league's recent financial and audience growth has been connected to Clark's popularity. If the league did not have permission to use the face of one of its biggest modern stars, critics said it would have made more sense to reconsider the promotional design rather than release something that was almost guaranteed to upset a large portion of its newest audience. For many observers, this incident represents another example of questionable decision-making at the league level. Combined with what critics describe as a locker room culture filled with personal rivalries and agendas, these controversies risk pushing away the very fans the WNBA has spent years trying to attract. While some veteran players remain caught up in their own disputes and politics, a much broader audience is tuning in primarily to watch a generational talent compete under enormous pressure and navigate an environment filled with constant controversy.
Yeah, I asked her that a couple times when I first met her. And, she said that she can't avoid it. Of course, she's got the TV on and then she'll see some conversation about it or what have you. But that she really wants to stick to what's important, and basketball and family and friends. She is remarkable. And I say this in the book, I'll say it again to you. The WNBA is so lucky to have her.
Caitlin Clark continues to rise above the WNBA's controversies, choosing to focus on basketball rather than public feuds or politics. Her calm approach has contrasted with players like Sophie Cunningham, who has embraced her growing popularity and turned viral attention into major opportunities. Meanwhile, critics argue that poor management and internal politics are holding the league back, even as Clark's enormous fan base and cultural influence continue to grow. Ultimately, the WNBA must improve its leadership, officiating, and treatment of its biggest stars if it wants to fully capitalize on its rapidly expanding mainstream audience.